Dr. Sebi is not the healer. All of us are, especially those women. They are the nurturers. We are the nurturers. Now, we're going to go into a little bit of history here that we can understand more about this journey of healing. We already know, as we roll it back into the jungles of Africa, we didn't have to know anything about hair because all we had was over here. So we just lived without no clothes, punching no clock, no school. We didn't have no school. And we didn't have this. Paper. You see, to make paper, you have to cut some trees down. And after you cut the tree down, you have to make a machine to pulp the tree. Then you have to make another machine to suck the oil out the ground, to feed that machine, to pulp the paper, to make the paper. But look at the mess we're making. But we can't fathom that state of life, living. We can't even understand how was that possible. But it was possible because we lived that. Well, as far back in history as we go, the herbs are for the healing of the nation. They didn't have to tell us that because that's how we live. But Hippocrates came, the Greek, and he found out that these African people weren't getting sick. So why are they not in a hospital? They have no hospital. There's no grocery store. There is nothing. But he watched what they were eating. He goes back to Greece and began to use that particular principle, modality, or whatever way. And he was curing disease in Greece. He established the school of medicine, known today. But Hippocrates, when I was arrested, we're going to go into the case now. While I was in jail, I was laughing because I wanted to know what defense would they have against me. You see, I traveled with the best of the philosophers and the religious people. I was never too inclined with that, but I was inclined to pursue because of the energies of life navigating me to this point. But I like it. But I didn't want to be it because I'm vulgar, I'm loose, I have no discipline, I'm lazy. So all these things is me. But that's okay, I love it. This is why I didn't want the position. And I made a statement in New Orleans in 1962 that I wanted to give the black woman a gift. Why I selected the black woman? Because in New Orleans in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, you talk about a black woman, and like you talk about some horrible being. They even call you Sapphire. I said, but why do we talk about her that way? And she's our mother. I came out of one. I said, I'm going to give her a gift. I was in a barber chair in a thin barber shop. I didn't know the gift was going to be healing. But the gift is healing. And what the woman has done in healing, I've never done. So I know that you all have the capacity because you all are the nurturers. Healing requires nurturing, right? Okay. So now Hippocrates used herbs. And if we go to science, science shows us that the only substance that could assimilate is a carbon-based substance. That's a natural plant. So that's why I was laughing in jail. I wanted to know what defense they were going to have against me. But I had one ace in the hole that has never been used. Now we could use it because we got it. We won our case. While the judge, I'm going to play game with the physicians because I know that we're helpless. I know they never had someone like myself in front of their face, but I'm going to rub it on the nose. The judge said, Dr. Sebi, the physician, no, would you please begin? I said, where do I begin, Your Honor? Begin where you say that you have the cure for AIDS and the physician claims that there is no cure. I said the physicians are 100% right. There is no cure for AIDS or any other disease. They are right. The judge said, but I have a newspaper here that says, you said there's cure. I said, oh, that. That is a horse of a different color. She said, how does that help me? This sounds like a contradiction. I said, maybe to you, Your Honor, but I'll clear that up. I agreed with you with the physician making the claim that there is no cure for AIDS or any other disease, because the perspective that prepared the physician, his education, his discipline, his modality, doesn't cure anything. So when he said that he doesn't cure it and there is no cure, he's right from his perspective. But from my perspective, there is cure for AIDS and every other disease. What I just did is to bridle the court. Remember what I did. Look what I did. Physicians are right by their modality. But by ours, there is cure. So what is the question that the judge is going to ask? There's only one question. What is the difference? Oh my God. When the judge asks me, what is the difference in the perspectives? Dr. Victor Herbert, who is head of the Veteran Administration, jumped up and said, I beg your pardon, another perspective? Your Honor, we all know that the allopathic is the only one that complements. Dr. Sebi, what do you say? I said, not so. What is your perspective? The African biomineral balance. The doctor said, I've never heard of such a thing. I said, he's right again. You have never heard of the African biomineral balance. But we have to remind the good doctor that he have not heard of a whole lot of things, and the African biobalance only happened to be one of them. What is the African biobalance opposed to the allopathic? The allopathic uses chemicals. The African biomineral balance, not so. We use a vegetable. Why? The body is carbon-based. So we differ in substance used, but we also differ how we perceive disease. The allopathic claim that you're multiple disease. When you have pneumonia, you have AIDS, you have diabetes, you have 3 different diseases. Not so. There's only one disease. The doctor jumped back up and said, I told you this man is unscientific and ignorant. He said that. I said, Your Honor, he's right. I'm unscientific. But if we have to use science as a measure or barometer to reverse disease, science already had 500 years. They have not cured one. So what do we find in the African biomineral balance? It has reduced disease to one common denominator, mucus. And we proceed to remove the mucus from the system by using an electric cell phone, natural plant from the forest. Upon doing so, we nourish the part that was aggravated most. Like if you come to me with cancer of the bones, well, I don't have to put too much emphasis on the blood or the brain. It's on the calcium of the bone, right? But if you come to me with sickle cell, I'm going to clean the body, putting emphasis on the blood. But if you come to me insane, I'm going to clean the body and put emphasis on the brain. That is what we do. An intracellular chelation. That is the African approach to pathology. Opposed to the European, which is the allopathic. It's multiple disease. So you see, the FDA now jumped in because the FDA saw we were getting the advantage. We are not going to allow this man to practice or to sell his compounds because we don't know what's in them. The judge said, well, let me see. So he goes through my record. He said, well, this man doesn't show signs of recalls. On the other hand, your physician, there's always a recall. So what I think we need to do here is this. You're gonna have to raise your level of understanding of herbs to his, not he drop down to yours. Dr. Sebi, you could use whatever herb you find fit in your repertoire. But the part of this case that really hit home was when the FDA said that I couldn't sell the product. I said, the FDA is right. I should sell my product, providing they know the food that is consistent with our gene structure. The judge said, what do you mean by that? I said, you see, Your Honor, in creation, you will not find a gorilla in Alaska, nor a polar bear in Africa. And you will not see a gorilla eating the food of a polar bear because he doesn't eat blood. No, the polar bear eats flowers and plants. So when you remove the black man from Africa, did you bring his food with him? No. They said no. Now you're talking. You see, now we are getting home.